Okay, welcome back to another YouTube video. First things first, yes, I got my haircut. Looks a little bit different. I'm not really used to having a fringe, but I'm getting used to it. But yeah, get into the box. Okay, so the first book I read this month in December was Ernie O'Malley, A Life by Henry F. Martin with comic K.H. O'Malley, so that's his son. This book's quite fast, quite fast paced. It's easy to get through it. It's only 230 pages, so it's not a big book. Certainly not to the ones that I'm used to reading. It was enjoyable. It was interesting as well. I think more so on the insight into Ernie's life after the warring period, as opposed to during it. I was kind of slightly aware of that, but yeah, it really has like a very interesting post-war life. He travels around Europe, he travels around America and Mexico, and he meets lots of big names and very famous people and very influential in the arts and culture, and I never knew that side of him, and it's very interesting to see the other side of him, like, you know, the very more human side of the legend that he is because of his involvement in the Civil War and the War of Independence. It was kind of a little bit, the prose in the first half was a little bit unusual, really. Some sentences and paragraphs felt very like stilted, very written unusually, like kind of just felt like, oh, Ernie must have felt terrible, and that's the sentence. I'm just like, you could have, I don't know, added some more in here, or maybe like the explanation of why he must have felt terrible was there as well, but it's just an unusual way of writing. You know, it's just kind of a little bit elementary, I'd say, in there. But that was only really present in the first half of the book. After that, it was not noticeable at all. I don't know how factual it is. I kind of feel like it's a little bit gassing them up a little bit, like maybe believing the best version of events, or the version of events that paint Ernie in the best possible light. And that's okay. Like, I suppose every historian has their biases and stuff, and that's fine. But yeah, just to keep that in mind when you're reading it. I did enjoy it. I would recommend it if you're into Irish history, or if you want to know more about the individuals involved in it. I didn't really know anything about him before I went into this book, and yeah, I think I came away with a better understanding of him. I don't like have a favorite revolutionary or anything like that, but yeah, his was interesting, and yeah, I know more about my country now than I did before, and the people who made it. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say on that. And then the next book I finished in December is the first Game of Thrones book, called Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. And, well, first of all, it's a thick book. Maybe it's more books here, but that's like 800 pages, 780 pages of narrative content. Really big difference from the last one. This one took me, I think, maybe a month or so, or something like that, but it was good. It was really enjoyable at the end. The first, I know it's going to sound like incredibly like generic, or like a thing that fantasy readers say a lot, but you know, the first 500 pages, it's whatever, but the last 200 pages, now that's where it really gets going. But it is true, I think, for most of the first couple hundred pages of reading this book, I was just disappointed at how one-to-one the adaptation is, the TV show, and that's not George R. R. Martin's fault, because obviously he is a better writer, or I think he's a better writer than Benioff and Weiss, the writers of the TV show. Yeah, so it's just, they had a great foundation here with the book, and then they just really changed almost nothing. And yeah, I think that's more a mark against the TV show than the book, but it's just like I was expecting something new and something interesting reading this that I didn't get in the TV show, which I didn't get. But I believe that will be the case with the next books in the series, and I do I do intend to continue reading this after this book. Yeah, I was thinking about this, and really why I was disappointed that it's so one-to-one is because I wish I read this before I watched the TV show, because it's better. I think it's a lot better. I think you get a lot better insight into the characters, what they're feeling, what they're thinking, and why they're doing stuff. I think it's a lot more introspective across the board for all the characters. Is there anything else to say about it? Yeah, so like that thing that happens at the end of the book, I'm not going to spoil it, but the just in case there's someone out there who hasn't read this before, and like I know you're thinking, oh, this is one of the biggest TV shows ever, very well-known book series. Surely everyone's read it. No, I've literally seen someone 2 days ago being like, oh my god, my first read of this, and it was so good. It was like I never knew anything about it. So yeah, there are people still finding this series even today, and that thing that happens at the end, obviously I watched the show, I knew what was going to happen. When I first watched the show, I was completely shocked. I was like, oh my god, they actually went there and they actually did that. But knowing that happens in the book, and that I was going to read it, and that I was still reading, like I knew what was going to happen as I was reading up to it, it still kind of shocked me that they still went through it, that George R. R. Martin still went through with it and still did it. And I think that's a testament to the way he writes this story, is that even though I knew what was going to happen, I knew how it was going to happen, I knew where it was going to happen, I was still so invested that I had to see it or read it again. And even the thing with Maester in what's called Black Castle, like I knew that before because I'd watched the show, but when I completely forgot it when I was reading the book. And when I was reading the book and the book told me, or one of the characters in the book told me what happened or who he was, I was like, oh my god, that's actually crazy. So yeah, that is it's good. Oh yeah, this is a 4-star book, and the other one is also a 4-star book. Maybe that would be my thumbnail right there. Probably will. Any caveats with it? Maybe it's a 3-star. Yeah, this was a 3-star. It was a 3-star because I didn't know how factual it was and how much he kind of goes with the rumours. But it is an enjoyable read, and if you have an interest in Irish history, you will get something out of it. I mean, I don't. Yeah, if you don't have an interest in Irish history, I don't know if you'll get much out of this. But this could be your starting point, isn't it? This is a 4-star read. Yeah, and I'm definitely going to read the other books in the series as soon as I can get them from the library. It should be a lot easier because this one was very popular, obviously, and it was also kind of hard to get to because you type in Game of Thrones and you get 600 results. Because obviously everything Game of Thrones is Game of Thrones, but the next book is Clash of Kings, which is like, type that in, you get 30 results maybe. Yeah, those are going to be 2 books I read in December. I want to do a tier list of all the books I've read in this year, so that should be coming out soon. Soon. I also want to do a video on my TBR for next year, 2026. That's also soon TM. Yeah, I'm recording this on the 31st of December, so this is the last day of 2025. So if you're watching this at any other time other than today, Happy New Year, and yeah, keep reading books.